Hello and welcome to another episode of Blackjack Movies. I'm your host, Pat Hilke, taking you through the journey of the best damn movie podcast on the internet. I am here once again with the co-pilot of the ship, Brett Gutierrez. What's up, Brett?
What is up, Pat, and what is up, listeners? It's Thursday, December the 21st. We're here bringing you another Blackjack instant review. This time, Pitch Perfect 3.
Yes, man.
Getting close to Christmas, and we're still bringing you the good content.
That's right. We've done 3 episodes in the last week. Here is how we always break it down. We're going to give you the good, we're going to give you the bad, and we're going to give you our Blackjack Movies rating out of 10. Now, this is a real interesting one because we were lucky enough to see the whole trilogy, if you will, of Pitch Perfect. So we got, Pitch Perfect, then Pitch Perfect 2, now Pitch Perfect 3, all back to back to back. And for sitting in a theater for 7 hours, it pretty much flew by.
I'm going to just preface this with I was not here
for the first one.
Beginning.
Which is too bad because the first one is lights out. I love the first one.
Very true. That one is easily watchable again and again.
It really is.
I would say it's going to be, is cult classic at this point almost.
The music is just amazing. Yeah. And that's where it all starts. And if you're a music lover, that's what gets you into the theater.
For these movies, yeah, absolutely.
Starting off with the good for Pitch Perfect 3, let's start that way. Yep. The music in Pitch Perfect 3 is lights out. It's almost as good as the first one.
Yeah.
The first one brought us this whole new, it was right at the time when Glee was really hot, and you had this movie come out, and it gave you those mashups, and everything was just lights out. Musically, it gave you pop music mixed with like 80s tracks, mixed with hip hop jams. It was just a great mashup of different music. And that's what made you love the first Pitch Perfect. This one does the same thing. Yeah,
absolutely. The first one, like you said, you hit it right on the nose. It was something we hadn't seen before. And that's why I think everybody kind of fell in love with it, too. Yeah. It was easy to fall in love with because you'd never seen anything like that.
Exactly.
And this one obviously does not have that same, brand new everything. But you know what? They brought back the good elements. And watching number 2 right into number 3, they brought back most of the good elements that you love. Most of the major cast members are back. Brittany Snow, Anna Kendrick, Fat Amy, who I can't remember. Rebel Wilson,
mm-hmm.
Amy Camp is in it too. So they really all gel together. You could tell that they're having a lot of fun making this movie.
Yeah, I think they really like dove deep into that sisterhood, if you will, of these characters. Like they really were they seemed like really good friends off camera.
Yeah, and you could tell. I think at the end, I don't know, they were all choking up.
I know,
and it felt like that was really then the final number.
It did,
and it felt like a here's a legit actual moment of goodbye.
Yeah, I don't think that it was necessarily all acting
scripted they should all cry. Yeah. I think that they were all really crying, and that was a little bit touching.
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, she came back in it. She was introduced in the second one, and yeah, I mean, this was a great movie, I thought. I mean, it really bounced back because number 2, for me, seeing it was, that was a hot mess.
And that was the first time you saw it, and it was the second time I've seen it in the theater. Yeah. And I didn't watch it when it was on Blu-ray or anything. I saw it the first time in the theater, and then today was the second time I've ever seen it, and I liked it more this time. But it was,
still a bit of a
it wasn't what I wanted from Pitch Perfect, as good as the first one was.
Yeah.
Right? So the second one was just But this one took the elements of the second one that I did like,
mm-hmm.
mixed with the elements of the first one.
Most of them that we liked.
And they delivered a strong movie.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll talk about that first riff-off scene, because they always do a riff-off before the big competition.
It was really good.
That was killer, man.
Yeah,
I want to listen to that again. It was so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I mentioned to you that I had got the soundtrack when we went to go see Downsizing this week. I said I got the soundtrack for it, and you said, well, did you listen to it? I said, no, man, I got to wait until after the movie, because I didn't want the music to either dictate if I would like the movie or dislike the movie. So I wanted to wait until I saw it in its context. And I really enjoyed where they took the riff off, especially. I thought bringing in the groups that actually played instruments now, but we're still doing the riff off type.
And they were just
songs.
It
I was digging it, man. It was really cool.
Yeah, that really brought me back to, I think, the height. That was maybe for me the height of this movie. That got all of the, the peak of my excitement about, Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
It really came back right there.
Yeah, because when you think about the very first Pitch Perfect movie, that's one of the best scenes in it too. Is the riff off when they're in the pool. Yeah. And so bringing that back and you get those feels that you had when you first saw the first movie. It's an excellent way to bridge that together.
Yeah, and it was something that I think was definitely missing from the second one. That riff-off scene in the second one was just booty with the Green Bay Packers.
It was more comedy, unfortunately.
It really was, yeah.
It was more comedy than it was music.
You know, the music, and in this one, that they made a good distinction. The music was music, and it was good music. Right. And then the comedy parts were in the dialogue and in the story.
Comedy. Right,
and
they weren't made during the performances. Where in the second movie... It was all about, we're just going to take comedy into the performances throughout the whole movie.
Yes, and having the big mess-ups and the big flops and the big, the big one-liners right in the middle of a song, which is dumb.
Anything else good? Story-wise,
story-wise, it was
what you expect, right?
It was what you expect, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was good.
That's where I'm at, too. I thought...
the storyline for me has a few bads, and I'll bring that up in the...
Elizabeth Banks, I thought was hilarious, like always.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember dude's name. I wish I could off the top of my head, but...
Elizabeth Banks and John Michael.
Yeah.
As John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were hilarious again. Like they have a good rapport with each other throughout the three movies, and they bounce the comedy off of each other really well.
Yeah, and the one-liners come hard and fast.
For sure.
From that dude. He's hilarious. Funny. I can't believe that they said some of the things that they say.
Well, he's been saying it since the very first one.
I know, but damn.
Hey, that's pretty funny.
Hey, Shark Week, though.
All right, man. Let's get into...
some of the bad.
Yeah, it's bad. What do you think?
I'll start it off.
Yes.
The movie, the beginning of the movie is like a 10, and then right up until that the riff scene, like I said, I was riding cloud 9 and going, man, this is going to be one of the best movies. This is really living up to Pitch Perfect 1. After that is when it takes the dip for me. So basically, the start of the second half of the movie is they take you on a side story with Fat Amy and her family and her dad, played by John Lithgow, who, they're, I guess, super criminals. Right. And, Fat Amy is apparently a, trained, like, counter insurgent spy.
Yeah.
And that was a little weird and stupid.
Well, it was pretty much just stupid.
And, yeah.
It was pretty much just stupid.
It was pretty much just stupid silliness.
As clumsy as she's played throughout the two movies and going into the third, right?
Yeah, you can't really pull that.
Like, all of a sudden, she's like Liam Neeson.
Yeah, she takes out 3 dudes in the basement of this, cruise boat. And they made it look really good.
No, they did. Like, the fight scene is pretty cool. But
it's just so stupid.
It's just dumb because it's Fat Amy. You know?
But it's funny how the fight scene, I was like, wow, that actually looks
No, the
really
choreography
good.
for the fight scenes was really good. Like, all the fight scene was awesome, but it was
in a different movie.
It didn't place in this movie. I'm like, damn, maybe they should get Rebel Wilson to do like some kind of spy movie. It probably
you know how McCarthy
did it
in Spy, the movie Spy, and it was really well.
Yeah,
and this one,
I think Rebel Wilson could probably do Spy too.
Spy too.
Hey,
you heard it here first. That's a Blackjack original trademark, and let us know.
Rebel Wilson, you get Spy too. You got kicked down.
At least give us a shout out.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm with you. That's the one scene.
It's not even a scene. It's a chunk. It's a chunk.
It is a chunk.
And it's a little bit doesn't fit. Hard chunk. And that's, when I got up and got to the bathroom because I knew it was going a little south.
Now, the one thing I did like about it is they sing one of the best songs during that time.
Oh, yeah.
And they're singing Britney Spears' Toxic at that time. And the way that, you got Anna Kendrick and all them girls singing it.
Snow and Amy Camp. Oh,
it's something else. It's something else.
Sorry, they bring you back to old Britney.
It's something else. They did it. They did an awesome, but it's an awesome rendition of the song too.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of those things. Like, you get caught up in the music again, which is nice. Like, if they would have left it to where it was just that scene, it would have been just bombs out bad. This kind of saved the scene because of the music was so well.
Yeah.
Another bad. What else you got?
They put in some love stories through this one that really kind of were in a little bit of my bad category.
Mm-hmm.
They really teased this new love interest. Oh, spoiler! Anna Kendrick and her on-screen boyfriend Jesse. I can't remember his actual name in real life, but they break up at the beginning of this movie. The guys aren't even in this. The troublemakers,
and that's the problem.
And that's a little bit of a bad too.
It is.
But yeah, so Anna Kendrick's character has this, music producer that is giving her the googly eyes and coming over and talking to her a bunch during this tour, and it felt so cheese and pushed and
displaced
and unneeded, really unneeded for her character.
It's just too bad because it's one of those things. Like, I really enjoyed the love story that she had with the character of Jesse in the first movie. They carried it sort of on in the second movie.
I mean, they were together.
They were together for sure.
Yeah,
they were together for sure. But it wasn't the same because
it wasn't about them.
The troublemakers just weren't in it very much.
Yeah.
In the second movie, they everything was about DOS sound machine. Or
whatever. God, don't even get me started on that.
That's real bad for that movie. But I think, and they mention it right away that they're not together and they live 3,000 miles apart.
So he's just gone.
Long distance is not going to work. But it's one of those things, like, you want to keep hope alive, but then they mention that he has a girlfriend that he's living with and stuff. And so it's like, oh, man. Like,
yeah, they spoil it right in the beginning that they are not going to be in the movie.
like you could have really just had it. Like, fine, they're not in the movie, but they could have still been together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disappointing that they weren't in the movie. But then you couldn't
force this new awkward love romance between Anna Kendrick and the new movie producer.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, that's just a fail. The same thing with Fat Amy and Bumper got together in number 2, and I mean, Bumper is a great character in this universe, in this
for sure.
Pitch Perfect universe, and I think not having him is a little bit of a loss as well.
And the same with Benji and Haley's character.
Steinfeld,
Emily, or I think her name is in the movie.
Emily.
Like, they all have these romances and then they just throw them aside, and I don't think you needed to throw them aside. You could have explained it in the writing of, we're making this USO tour
and the guys don't need to be in it at all.
They can't come.
Yeah.
They don't need to be there. It's only open for, military.
And the acts. Yeah, they're there.
They're not going to be coming.
Yeah.
And you could have had like one scene at the end or one scene at the beginning with all those guys, and I guarantee they're not super high priced.
So not doing much.
It's not a budgetary thing. It's like just the writing. Why do you want to spoil it for everybody that's taking this journey with you? That wants to see a good love story.
Yeah, those characters have been there through the first 2 movies.
Exactly.
And to just cut them off in the last movie feels a little bit rude to those guys. But whatever.
Right. But yeah, I'm on the bad train for that too.
So those are our bads. I'll bring you back to one more good, just putting that in there, is Brittany Snow's character. You fall in love with her in this one. She's so cute. She does have a good, I think, love romance with one of the USO military men. Super cute. And you root for her, because she hasn't had a relationship throughout this Pitch Perfect, saga, if you want to call it that. And
not a relationship. I mean, she was in the shower with that one dude, but that happens.
That happens. And she's been in the bed with Anna Kendrick a couple times.
That happens.
But, so this one really, it felt good. That was a good romance, as opposed to the Anna Kendrick or the other ones. So.
Right, exactly, man. It's time for the ratings, man. Let's get into it.
Oh,
you want to start it?
Oh, this is rough. It's hard to, I can easily put these movies in order in my head, having, I've seen the first one a bunch of times.
Right.
And then coming in and seeing the second one onto the third one. It's easy. It's an easy number 1 is the first movie. This is an easy number 2 being Pitch Perfect 3.
Right.
And having Pitch Perfect 2 to be down there at the bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
So, according to that, I can't give Pitch Perfect 3 a higher rating than Pitch Perfect 1. And in my mind, Pitch Perfect 1 is like a 9, 9.3, 9.2.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to go shade below and say it's an 8.8 for Pitch Perfect 3.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
It.
No, it is really good, and I think the rewatchability is going to be there because the music is good.
Yes. And the comedy is really good too.
It is.
Those two things.
It is funny.
That's what you come to Pitch Perfect for, and you get it.
Yeah, there's a smash and dropping a whole album that will have context for you guys. I'm right there with you, man. You gave it an 8.8. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed the movie. The music does carry throughout, even through the one scene that I did not like. And I think maybe after rewatching it again, I'll get over the fact that Jesse and Bumper and Benji aren't in it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, because I was really disappointed that they didn't, at least show up in either the beginning or the end, or give reference to in a positive light, because I feel like, the way that they interacted, the way that they had the chemistry, I would like them to carry throughout.
Especially Fat Amy and Bumper's character in the second movie. Jesus,
Oh, yeah.
How does that just dissolve away into nothing?
Exactly.
He should be coming back at the end.